Welcome to Cackling in the Void.
I'm Kaylee,
I'm Ashley.
and let's see if the void echoes back today.
We're two best friends diving deeper into the void, talking about Iron Flames chapters 18 and 19 today.
We're very excited to come back to Iron Flame into these chapters because honestly, I really enjoyed these chapters and what they highlighted.
Oh, yeah.
Especially within her interpersonal relationships, because as we're getting further into these chapters, I feel like now we're finally getting into the more like meat of the circumstances.
Yeah. And it's the tensions that have been building and building and building, but like through the entire book, I mean, for the past 17 chapters, is finally reaching that tension. Like it's just building and it's reaching that breaking point, and you're starting to see it really affect the relationships. And like we said before, we do like how the character relationships are written because they do just have that really personal human touch to it, where I feel like that's sometimes hard to get. And so we do like the chapters that kind of highlight that, and especially these two set of chapters where it's like very prominent, and that tension that we've been talking about for so long is finally breaking.
Well, I don't know if I would agree that it's actually breaking. I think that it's getting closer to the top side of the build. Like,
Yes.
if we're on
like
like
it hasn't broken yet.
actual like building part of it. So we're almost to like the climax of that, where it would be. Like, we're finally seeing the weight of it.
Yes, there we go. That's a better way to say it.
The weight and the ramifications of her not being able to figure what she would like out.
Yeah. Because it's like it hasn't broken yet, but you do see like, hey, look, like this is not great. What you're doing is getting people upset.
Yeah. But not only that, is like it's not just getting other people upset, it's getting yourself upset.
Yeah.
I think like that's one of the main points.
Like you're getting mad.
Yeah.
You're
getting upset.
You're sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, yes, it's affecting other people, obviously, but it's also affecting you. And I mean, why put yourself in a situation where you know you're going to be upset, mad, and sad?
Exactly. And now you're realizing that you have control, or a semblance of it, you know?
Yeah. Because, that's what she's been lacking, and like, what she's been struggling with, and it's, no, you can control. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, I just think that it's hard for her.
Really?
Yeah, I just think that it's hard. I just think that it's hard for her, and there's a lot of things happening, and just like in the opening of chapter 18, she finally gets to see Xaden, which is something that
3 weeks.
Well, more than.
Yeah.
I think they've seen each other probably one time for his leave, and then like they missed each other the last 2 times. So his leave and then her last leave, they did miss each other again. So they haven't seen each other in a month because it's every fortnight. So he leaves every 2 weeks and she leaves every 2 weeks.
So they see each other every other week. They get leave it. Yeah, because it's like she goes there, and then he comes there the following week, and then she goes there the following week. So they leave every fortnight, but they see each other every fortnight. Or sorry, every week. At least
they don't see each other every week.
Yeah, because let's say like Xaden leaves the 1st and the 14th of a month. She's leaving the 7th and the 21st. So they see each other every week. It's just they don't
see each other every week though.
Like because of what's been happening. But they see each other every week because it's every 7 days they see each other. It says that in the beginning of the book. Okay.
It's just the way that you're describing it is not making any sense. I'm gonna be so honest about it. Maybe it's really early for me and my brain's not functioning, but the way that you're describing it is making it sound.
So Violet goes on the odd, like the 1st and 3rd weeks she gets leave of the month, and then Xaden gets the 2 and 4.
Great.
2nd and 4th
Thank
week.
you.
There you go.
Thank
you. I was like, that might be a little bit of a better way to say it.
Because I was like, what are you saying to me? I literally have. I'm so sorry, Ashley. I was like, I don't understand.
It is quite early there.
I don't understand what you're saying to me. I'm so sorry. I don't know.
That's funny. So, diving in, we see Xaden, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
They get to see each other, and Violet is surrounded by books on her floor, and it is like a point where it's like Xaden does stay in her room when she's gone, or like when he's there, and
I
like it
mean,
just
as
is.
she does with his room as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, like yeah, and she's like, it's just so natural, like we just kind of naturally just gravitate, and it's like so natural just to have each other in each other's room. Like it's not like, oh, like how weird I have to organize things. Like no, like you just put your bag down and you're fine.
Mm-hmm. Which is so interesting, especially with like how much tension there is. He does walk in, and of course she's.
Sorry.
Oh, was that you?
That was me. My cord was like weird, so I tried to move it, and it said,
Okay, great.
icky.
Because I was like, I didn't touch anything.
I know, I will not be touching that cord.
Great, thank you. I just want to make sure. Xaden does walk in, and she does comment about his appearance and how tired he looks, because he has been doing a lot in terms of duties at the outpost. We know that he's done a lot of 24-hour duties. They do a lot of runs. They do a lot of patrols. And so I'm sure that he looks tired. And not only that, is he did just fly 24 hours?
Like 8 hours. But he goes on 24-hour duty shift.
So it's like, who knows how much sleep he did have before he actually left. And she does say that he looks really tired and could probably use a nap. And I love that Xaden's like, you don't think I'm beautiful? What do you mean? You're saying that I need a nap? Like, am I not? Do I look that bad?
Yep.
Do I look that bad? And I love that she's like, I'm not saying that you're not beautiful. I just think that you really need a nap. Which
is so valid.
Yeah, I feel like I could definitely relate to that. It's the, what do you mean I look tired? I am beautiful. What do you mean?
No, running on 3 hours of sleep is not okay.
Nah, you're good. It's cool.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not in the same boat, but
it's. I feel like the penguins from Madagascar sometimes just smile and wave. You'll be fine.
Just smile and wave.
Smile and wave. Everything will be good.
These movies are weird.
They definitely are, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And Violet is just playing around with Xaden.
Yeah.
We're seeing the old banter that they used to have, that type of energy where they're, playfully teasing each other. And we get that semblance of banter. And Xaden is looking around on her floor and is like, what kind of books are these? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's actually happening? And why do you have so many books? And she does mention, she's like, oh, most of these books are actually mine. They come from my room that my mother kept the exact same way. Like, both Mira and I thought that she was not going to be that sentimental about it.
Yeah.
And leave it alone almost,
Yeah. And, they're continuing that banter, and, she's thinking about, oh, I could have him in bed. And horny Violet all of the time whenever he's around, immediately. And, she's like, well, you drew the line here, so I'm just with a bunch of sexless books. And, just in that old banter and having fun.
I kind of love that, she says that, because I think at that point, both of them were like, yeah, there could be something better we could be doing.
Yeah. Yes. Like, they
Especially
both
because,
know it, but they
yeah.
both are too stubborn to break their ground.
Mm-hmm. Especially because he openly said, well, you could have me. You just have to say those 3 little words. Like, we don't have to do this.
Yeah.
You just have to say it. You have to say it and you have to give me what I want, or else I'm not, he openly said it. He will not use sex as a way to get her back, because I'm not going to lie. I think that if they did do it, Violet's going to cave. Violet's going to cave so fast.
Yeah,
Like,
no, 100%.
I think that the I don't know how else to say this, but I think that it's the reason why it makes me laugh is because I understand that idea, but also it is funny because the perception that women's sexuality does not necessarily cloud their judgment is not always the case.
No.
In terms of of physical interactions that happen. And I do think
I'm so sorry. That's my stomach. I'm really hungry. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that was that loud. I was like, wow, that was loud. And then you just looked at me and I'm like, oh, it was that. I'm hungry. I apologize if that happens again.
it's okay. It's okay. We're both hungry. It's fine.
The way you kept trying to continue.
I'm sorry. Ashley's just so hungry for Zayden's dick that she really couldn't help herself.
Because, obviously, I can control how my stomach growls.
Mm-hmm. She's just hungry for more of that vitamin D. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty funny timing.
You know what? So is Violet, and that's okay, Ashley. That's okay. You can also accept that hunger pain because
you're telling the asexual it's okay not to be asexual.
I'm telling the asexual that it's okay to have those feelings. If you want to have those feelings, it's okay. I know it's odd. But as an aloe plant, personally, it's fine. We accept you.
I appreciate it.
We accept all of your feelings or none of your feelings. All are valid.
And my hunger, apparently.
Yes, and your undying hunger. The insatiable need.
Was it really that loud?
I mean, I did hear it. I was like, what is that? So yes, in a way, I did hear it.
Wow, that was wild.
I mean, really back to the subject matter. I do think that if Violet and Zayden had sex, she would cave.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I know you've said it, especially in book 1, as you continue to die, and I'm trying not to die. You were saying how they had sex twice and how they really hadn't had that, they had some emotional bonding because just working together. And I mean, you get to know people if you're with them all of the time. And so they
Mhm.
had that, but it was we made the point of no, they haven't really gotten to know each other that much. And she kind of fell for him just for sex.
Yeah,
Or
I
from
guess
sex. Sorry.
I guess more or less the main point is they were never friends.
Mm-hmm.
Period. They were never friends
And they
before this, which is totally fine. Like you don't need to be friends with somebody to start a relationship like that.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
it's not necessary for a lot of people, but I know Ashley finds it very necessary.
I do.
I find it very necessary. I think that it's important to be friends with people. And
Yeah.
even if that stuff happens first, as long as you can maintain a friendship after that and
Mhm.
you
And
know
that's
get
probably
to
I
know
feel
each
like that's
other.
harder than I feel like depending on how it ends, obviously, that could be
Oh, yeah.
very
I
hard
mean,
and
you're technically working backwards in a way,
yeah.
so it
It's
just
hard, but if you were friends before and you're worried about not
mhm.
being friends after if something does happen,
Oof. That is a very realistic fear, and that is okay to have. And
it is a
sometimes
very realistic
it's
fear.
it's appropriate to have that, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's okay not to break the friendship. Because I was like, sometimes it's okay. It's okay to sit in that and not break the friendship. It's
Yeah.
totally okay to do that. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to be that emotional. Just hold on to friends, and it's okay.
Yeah, and it's if it takes longer than I guess average,
hmm
what you think is average, that's okay too. If you hey, I don't know because we're friends and I don't want to ruin that. If it takes you a little bit to kind of come to where you think that this relationship should go, that's okay.
Yeah, just know that a relationship is always two people,
Mhm.
and both people need to want similar things to each other. And it's okay to slowly get to know somebody and to be friends with them first
Mhm. I agree.
before just jumping in. But also, if you do it the opposite way, totally fine. As an aloe plant myself, sometimes it fucking happens. It's okay. I get it. I understand.
And so, they trying to get back on topic here. I
They
know
do
that's
a
hard for
very
us to
poor
do.
job.
Yeah. And, you know, and I know that they do mention throughout the book, Violetta says oh, this is toxic. We might not work together emotionally, but we work together physically. It has
hmm
been stated. She knows it.
Yeah. Which I'm glad that it is stated because I feel like we point it out quite often, but that's because it is so prevalent in their relationship, which is why their relationship is slightly more unstable because they
Mhm.
aren't talking to each other because there's not that communication there. And I do think that them setting these boundaries now, having the boundaries, sticking with the boundaries is one of the only ways that their relationship could possibly work.
Yeah.
If they do it, if they follow through, if they work on themselves.
Mhm. I agree. I agree. I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so
So he's kind of teasing her about everything, and she is also feeling like he does have valid points. And she openly says it that if she was truthful about her emotions and told him that she really does love him and that she wants him and that she needs him because to every single fiber of her being, that is what she wants. And she's openly acknowledged it because every single time, I feel like every single day she's like, I wonder what Zayden's doing. And I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. So it's like, she openly says that if she was truthful about her emotions and about what she wants, she could have him. But also, if he was forthcoming and had an ease of conversation about hard topics, she would also be willing to give that to him. But yeah. I feel like they both recognize that neither one is ready to give that to each other, even though they know what is expected, what's being asked, and they just don't want to yet.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's getting to this point where he's now really looking at the books that she has. Like, yeah, it was funny. It was like we're talking about like our relationship and we're having this banter, but actually, how many books do you have? Like, what is actually going
like, what
on?
What are you doing?
Yeah,
and so
like,
he does sit down and like starts picking up books, and he realizes like she's researching the wards and she's researching the first 6. She's researching like all of these things, and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, like I need to clean these up really quickly before he like realizes. And Terrence's like, you just want him to know. Like,
yeah,
like you want him to know what you're doing.
Chose not to pick everything up, and you chose to engage in a conversation where you started tiptoeing around the truth. And so unfortunately, Violet is a really bad liar.
She's so bad at lying. And I know it's been said, but God, it's insane.
Yeah. The fact that Violet thinks that she's so good at this is, I think, one of the most comical points of the book.
Yeah.
Is that Violet does think that she's doing a great job. Like, Violet thinks that like him not knowing the whole truth is like she's really doing it. I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love that Taryn does call her out on that and says, no, you wanted him to know. Like, I think that you wanted him to know, which is why you
like, you would have picked
out.
it up if.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, as soon as he walked in, you'd run like, oh, sorry, let me clean up the mess. And
absolutely.
And she didn't. And, you know, so she's like holding a book, which she got from Yesenia. And, you
because
know,
she has to go meet Yesenia.
Which she has
soon.
to, and it's saying like, oh God, I have 20 minutes. I need to go. And she's kind of thinking that. And, you know, he does mention that as they're kind of, the tension is building. They're no longer messing around. Yeah. And he does mention, he's like, it's the weapons that are going to protect the people in Erasia. And, like, not the wards. And Violet's like, I beg to differ. Like, I think wards are going to help. And so they, like, really start clashing on this. And he, you know, is like, oh, like, you're holding this book. Like, there's a reason we don't mess around in the archives. Like, it's the beating heart of our enemy. Like, don't fuck around there.
Yeah, we don't have friends there.
No.
We don't.
Which, it's the beating heart of our enemy. That's a great line. And it's not wrong. Like, that's where everything is kept. That's what changed history.
Yeah.
You know, written history. And what's taught for history and everything like that. And so he's not wrong.
It's also like, if you think about it, the archive is the epicenter of news.
Yeah.
And propaganda.
And it does go there first before the king, which we have learned.
Exactly. Which is so interesting that they even filter
for the king.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yes, I do agree that's really interesting. And, like, how many kings have they been? And the king himself, like, maybe doesn't know what really happened because the archives are keeping it a secret.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how much does the king actually know?
How much is he involved in everything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he, you know, and then so the tensions are building and everything like that. And she's like, I haven't told my friends anything. I've done exactly what you asked. Like, my friends don't know anything. Yesenia, who is also her friend, like, doesn't know anything. She hasn't told anybody anything. And she's just like, I can't just sit around and do nothing. Like, I want to help.
Yeah. I also think that that's a valid feeling, but I also feel like Xaden is valid in terms of, why didn't you tell me that you were doing this sooner? Because I'm upset that you're not telling me, but like he does say it. I'm upset that you're not that you didn't tell me, but I'm livid that you're putting yourself at danger.
Yeah.
Which I think is like very different.
I agree.
Hey, I get it. Like, you told me selective truths. I get that. Like, you're using those words, like, you're weaponizing my words against me and telling me selective truths. But at the same time, you're putting yourself in danger and not telling anybody that you're putting yourself in danger. So you actually have no backup, no safety net, and no security. Where me, on the other hand, Xaden is doing all of these risky things, but has a safety net, has people involved. Other people know what's going to go down.
Yeah. And I mean, he does, like you said, he does say, it's like, I'm livid that you're putting yourself in danger. And he does say, like, for me. And as we know, like, from his chapters and like his POV, like,
he's a very prideful person.
Very prideful person, yeah. And it's also like, he's so prideful, but also does not have the best self-confidence, I feel like. Does that make sense? And so it's like,
absolutely,
putting herself in danger for him is like, why would you do that? Like, something, and just like, I feel like that panic of like why for me? Like, I don't have,
absolutely,
like, there's no need for you to do that. I could do it myself. Because
that hyper independence, the idea that you're not worthy. Like, why would anybody do that? Because I'm not worthy of that type of treatment is definitely one of his biggest things. But also, like, Violet has a version of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I do agree with him. It's like, she's going in with no backup. Like, if something happens, no one's gonna know.
Absolutely.
And no one will know why.
Yep.
Which is not great.
Not great.
Yeah. And so, they're arguing, and then there's a knock on the door, and Ree, Riddick, and Sawyer all appear. And this was a great interaction. I loved this because Violet and Xaden, heat and like tension, and like it's just not.
Yeah. And they can also talk through the bond.
They can talk through the bond, exactly. And so Ree and them are like, "Oh, do you want to come to, like, where are they going?
The town.
Yeah, like, do you want to come to the town with us?" And she's like, "Believe me, and like, I would rather do nothing but that right now. Like, I would love to just go." And Violet and Xaden are arguing through the bond, and like, obviously angry. And Riddick does go, "I think they're arguing." And they're like, "But they're not saying anything."
They're not saying anything, but I think they're arguing right now, and this is like, I don't know how to feel, like, how I feel about this almost, and Ree's like, "Oh, like, do you want to go?" And she's like, "I'd really like to go, but I can't right now. I'm busy." She doesn't even say it. Xaden actually says it. Xaden's like, she can't. She's busy. And
yeah, well, so I think Violet says, "Oh, like, I can't today. I have something to do." And then she's like, maybe next week. And then Xaden does go, "She's in tomorrow next week."
Yeah.
And then, it's very sad. And then in a couple weeks then.
Yeah. Well, then the week after that, we can do that.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing to hear because, after that, Xaden and her do get in a small argument about her friends, about how she is, like we mentioned previously, she's not talking to her friends. She's not leaning on her friends. Nobody knows. And Xaden because after this interaction, Ree, Sawyer, and Riddick are now leaving, and she's like, "Hey, I get it," but she was looking at Violet and is like, "Let me know if you need to bury a body, because I'll do it. Yeah, he might be heavy, but don't worry, my signet can handle that."
It's like, oh, like, even if it's not trained, I'll make sure you'll go under the ground.
Mm-hmm.
and not even like a piece of grass would be turned.
Exactly.
And she's like, I'll do it. I'll absolutely do it. And like, just
Mm-hmm.
really like, and I love Free.
Yeah, and I think Xaden is right. Xaden is right to say that, wow, she has really loyal friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because she does. And the fact that she doesn't recognize that makes me upset.
Yes. I mean, she has great friends.
And so they end up leaving. And now Xaden and Violet are on the way to the archives, much to Violet's dismay, because Violet really doesn't want Xaden to come to the archive because she doesn't want him to scare Yesenia, because she knows how Yesenia is. She knows how quiet and meek and not and easily intimidated. Xaden is
Yeah.
not necessarily the
Friendliest looking.
yeah, there you go. I was like, how do I put this? How do I
Friendliest
put
looking
that
guy. And I
that
mean, she's
he's
like, and he's like, oh, like, that won't happen if she doesn't do anything. And
exactly.
Violet's like, well, you're just standing there. Like, that's gonna do it.
Yeah. She's like,
Yeah.
could you look less like yourself? Could you look less intimidating and like less scary, please?
Yeah.
And also, not only that, is she's like, why do you even want to come? You can't even like, what? You're just gonna like look at her and you're an excellent judge. Like, you're just gonna say that she's gonna be okay. And Xaden has so much confidence, so much hubris to be like, oh, I'm just an excellent judge of character. I just want to look at her. I'm an excellent judge of character. You know what I mean? And you can just see like that hubris in him almost.
Yeah.
And she just is very like offhandedly accepting of it. And she's like, all right, whatever. Like, oh, I'm going to be late. So let's go.
Yeah. And
they're
she's
kind
like,
of,
I know that this time is important. Like, if I can't,
yeah,
it's fine. Like, I need to be there at this time because, I mean, how it ended last time, she ran
exactly.
in and there was tons of people there because,
Hmm.
scribes also have class. And so she needs to be there on time because Yesenia knows this is where it's quiet. This is when
Yeah.
it's quiet. Come right now at this time.
Especially because she's the only one there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where it's the safest way to do this. And this is, if we miss the window, then we miss the window.
Yeah. And I mean, I know they both don't want to get in trouble, so
Definitely not. Also, as they're walking to the archive, they're talking a little bit more about Yesenia and why Violet feels like she can actually trust her. So they're talking about why Yesenia can actually be trusted. And Xaden does pose some questions like, well, how do you know that she can be? What has she done? And Violet openly says she hasn't been recording these things. She hasn't been asking for much. She isn't, kind of openly states she's not like Dane.
yeah.
And Xaden says, but you don't know that.
Yeah. And
for certain.
Yeah. And this is all still with that big tension from earlier. Like, they're not,
Yeah.
like, it's still very big. And, as, as they're going, he's like, I'm not trying to question your intelligence. Like, I'm questioning your safety. Like, you could really tell,
Mm-hmm.
like, he knows she's smart.
Yeah.
But he's just really concerned for her safety because, again, she has no backup. No one
Mm-hmm.
knows what she's doing except for Yesenia.
Exactly. And I just think that it really hammers in the fact that everybody's over here watching her do this and is very concerned.
Yeah.
We saw it in the last couple of chapters that Yesenia was concerned for her.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it in the last chapters that Ree was still concerned for her. We saw it in the last chapter that Imogen is concerned for her.
Yeah.
Like, we see it in this chapter that Xaden is concerned for her.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's okay to ask for help. Like,
yes.
Yes, you had someone betray you, and like, yes, your whole country kind of betrayed you, but, like, you could still have people in your corner.
I agree,
And
I agree, I agree.
and it's, like, obviously, this is a way bigger secret than, like, a surprise birthday party or something, but very different, very, very different, but I mean,
Uh-huh.
you can still be friends with someone and lean on them
Mhm.
if you can't tell them something, which I know that this would be a hard situation because it's such a big thing and it really incorporates every single aspect of her life pretty much. And so, like, I get how that could be hard to lean on her, like Riddick and Ree and them, but still you can lean on them, like she said, with selective truths. Like and I feel like she is getting a little bit better of like, I can give Ree a little bit of this. I can give Ree a tiny bit of this. But you just breathe. It's okay.
Yeah,
Take a breath.
I will breathe and it's gonna be okay and I'm gonna take a breath. You're right.
Well, I was telling Violet, but you're more than welcome to. Yes. Take the breath, Kaylee. In, out. You're fine.
And as they're walking through the corridor, they actually do. She's getting to the point where she's frustrated at the conversation because they're walking through the corridor and they do see people there. And Zayden, like, kind of goes and touches her back. And she's like, you don't have to touch me for people to know that, like, why you're here. Like, you don't have to, like, touch me for people to know that, like, you have a reason to be here. And he openly loved it. He openly said, what do you mean? I thought we weren't together.
Yeah.
And she is almost taken aback by that statement and is, because he says it with like this ache, you know, like that very like, but we're not together. So like, how would they know that I have a reason to be here if we're not together?
Yeah.
And I think like that kind of hits her in a certain point because she openly says, man, I hate to hear the disappointment in his voice because my ire like slackens, like it weakens because it's so much easier to live in the anger and the pain and the non-communication. It's easier for us to be angry at each other than us to acknowledge that we actually hurt each other. And that's something that I think that should be acknowledged a lot more, because the reason why this came about is because they are both hurt, but they don't want to admit that they hurt each other because of course, nobody wants to hurt anybody that they love. Just like if you love somebody, you don't want to hurt them, and like you don't mean to hurt them on purpose.
No.
But
it still happens. Like, it's inevitable that, like,
exactly.
Even, like, best friends hurt each other, and it could be in the smallest way, and you didn't do it intentionally, but it's like, hey, like, I didn't appreciate that. Can we have a nice little conversation about it? We're good? We move on.
Absolutely. And I think that's the thing that they definitely are working on.
Yeah, it's definitely their communication is not great.
Yeah, the communication is not there, but also the fact that she does feel hurt. She doesn't, you can tell that Violet doesn't like the idea either that they're not together. Like Zayden doesn't like the idea that they're not together, and she doesn't like the idea that they're not together.
Yeah.
But
they're both too stubborn to talk about their feelings.
Yeah, they're both too stubborn to talk about their feelings. And I just liked the fact that it was at least a little bit acknowledged that they both are like living in that sense of fear and anger, because it's easier to live there than to actually talk about what's going on. And like,
and it's also like Zayden does mention, he's like, well, you need to start asking the questions you actually want answers to. Like, because, they're just digging at the surface, digging at the surface, digging at the surface. It's not gonna work forever. Like, you need to get to the core of the issue and work it from, like, the core out, I feel like.
Absolutely.
instead of the out in.
I also understand like where she's coming from because she's like, well, if you would just tell me everything, I wouldn't have to ask the questions. But it's also at the same time, I think it really just comes down to the point that they both need to understand that, yes, they have this bond, this mental bond with each other, but just because you have this like mental bond with somebody doesn't mean that they're fucking mind readers. I'm so sorry. I think that that's what it like really comes down to, is that Violet is not a mind reader and Xaden is not a mind reader.
Yeah.
And so if these things are not said out loud and clearly stated, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
But I also feel like that also happens in like everyday relationships as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
absolutely, yeah.
You're gonna be sitting there and you're just looking at them and you're like, why aren't you doing what I'm thinking? Like just go do it. And you're like, they're not a mind reader. You have to say it out loud.
Yeah,
like,
you have to say it out loud.
And like sometimes, I mean, it is frustrating because it could be something that you're like, oh, it's just so simple just to think about and do it. But it's like everybody's brain works differently. Like if you're thinking of it like that and they're not thinking of it like that, how are they gonna think, oh, let me just go do that if they don't think that way?
Absolutely. And I just feel like it's interesting because they kind of get to this point where they both kind of say like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like kind of as that point happens, who comes by but Nolan?
Yeah, Nolan. Which is
Say
crazy.
Nolan, but I'm like, this is wrong.
Two different people.
Two different
people. It's Nolan.
Yeah, the mender that we have known that has like been mending Violet for like 6 years. And
yeah, like since she was a kid and throughout the writer's quadrant. And Violet actually hasn't seen Nolan at all this year.
Yeah,
which
and she's
good for her.
Him, she's like, oh, I sublocated my shoulder. The and she does stop for a minute and like say, maybe I shouldn't tell him. And so then she's like, and I've been really good about wrapping my knees.
Absolutely. Because she stops because she doesn't want to tell him about the burnout. Because she doesn't know how closely he's working with Varish and how closely that is all happening.
Yep.
I agree with her. She definitely should stop. But also she recognizes that Nolan looks like shit. Nolan
he's not doing great.
Haggard.
Yeah. And she's like, wow, his like skin is like hanging off him like his shirt is. Like it's not he looks not great at all.
Yeah. And Nolan says, mending a soul takes a lot out of you, and I've been at it for months.
And Violet's like, oh, like I don't know if that's just like his joking moment, because he does smile after it. He's like, oh, I don't know if like that's his joking moment, if he's being serious. And she kind of just blows it off.
Especially because at this point, it is just like the idea of, I'm sure that that's how he looks at his job. He's healing souls. Yeah. Because he is a mender. Menders are there to fix things and to heal people.
And like, when you're in a lot of physical pain, having like that taken care of a bit, it's like a little relief off your soul.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because Xaden is over here and he does like posture like he's going to protect Violet. And Nolan notices and says, I would never do anything to hurt Violet.
Yeah. Like I've been mending her for 6 years.
For so long. Like I would never. And they were like, oh, are you like on your way to rest or something? And he's like, no, I'm meeting somebody. They just must be running a little late. And so they're having this conversation. And then Caroline Ashton comes and to meet Nolan and says, oh, I'm so sorry I'm late. And Nolan's like, oh, are you ready? And she says yes. And then so they leave together. And Xaden and Violet both notice that she does not look injured at all. Which is very interesting that she's meeting with Nolan. And Xaden says, well, maybe she's just meeting somebody. Maybe Nolan is escorting her to go see a patient that's from her squad.
Yeah. And I know that she does mention, like, oh, like, Riddick's theory of, like, oh, like, they're using him for interrogations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, but, like, Riddick's very silly. I don't know if it was said much in, like, joking or serious manner, because she heard it secondhand.
Yeah. And we love Riddick. He is a comic relief, but also, yeah, is he serious about that theory, or was he just joking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, they continue going, and she's like, I can trust Yesenia because of the Fable of the Barons from last year. Because
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, oh yeah, like, I requested it. And Zayden, gets really, really mad. He's like, you did what? And she's like, I didn't know at the time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I just wanted my book because I wanted to read it.
Exactly. And she also said at that time, obviously it was a little bit safer because she requested it and didn't get murdered.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
definitely an interesting aspect to think about.
Yeah, and she's like, and she didn't report it, and she's not reporting any books from this year.
Mm-hmm.
And, she finally sees Yesenia, and she's like, oh, like, these books are too vague on what's happening. Like, we need more information. And Yesenia's like, I have an idea, which I love her. And they're signing, and Zayden signs, like, thanks for helping. And
thanks for helping us.
Thanks for helping us. Exactly. Thanks for helping us. And it takes, like, Violet kind of goes, oh, like, I didn't know you knew how to sign. And he's like, well, Tirish, and one's a lot more common than the other, which I do really, really, really love how, like, sign language here in this world is such a just known thing. It seems like, I mean, obviously there's going to be people that don't know it, but for the most part, like, it's a known thing.
Yeah.
Like, the teacher knew it for Yesenia.
For the most part, this is quite a common language. So it does seem like a lot of people know 2 languages, whether or not it's going to be a spoken language or not.
Yeah.
They still know 2 languages. So I kind of love that about their culture.
Yeah. And I do love how they did add, like, a deaf character into the book.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that.
Yeah.
It's just
this
fun
book
to see.
Does have nice representation about disabilities.
Yeah, physical, and it also has nice, like, some representation for, like, the LGBTQ and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It has some nice representation, just all around, which is amazing to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, I mean, like you said, all around, it's like, very clearly stated that Zayden isn't white.
Absolutely, yeah.
At least in my heart and soul, Riddick is also not white.
No.
That is
no. He is not. No. He's not.
Man.
Yeah. Just I just no.
I can't unsee it.
He's not yeah. No, he's not white. I don't care.
No. And and so she brings back another book, and they do briefly talk about the Fable of the Barons, because she hands it back. And she's like, it is a small book, like, it was a limited print, but not limited enough where we wouldn't have it, and it's a really odd subject matter to leave out of the archives. Which, I mean, I completely agree. We know why, obviously, but it is a very interesting. I'm glad, like, Yesenia's putting it together. Like, that's a weird book to leave out of the archives. I mean, it's fables. Why would you leave that out? And so she's starting to put it together.
Yeah. It's just folklore. Like, why would this be an issue almost, It doesn't make any sense, especially if they're just quote unquote like fairy tales. So why would you leave it out?
And so she hands her another book just to read for the week, and then so they'll exchange again in a week. And, they're leaving. And, the argument is still, ouch, the tension is still very high. And, Violet does say, like, trust has to go both ways. You have to trust me and, like, what I'm doing, like, I know Yesenia. Like, she was okay, and, like, I have to trust you, and, like, it goes both ways. If you're not willing to give me trust, why can I give you trust blindly?
Mhm. Exactly.
And it's I mean, that is so fair. Like,
Mhm.
he's asking for a blind trust in him, and he's not willing to give her that. Which, again, I know her shields are like, I get the mentality, but also
Mhm.
I also completely understand her point.
Yeah, I mean, technically, when they were arguing in the hall and Nolan came up, he openly had to state, "Put your
Shields up.
shields up."
Yeah, and she
And
does say,
she
she's like, "I'm waiting for the moment where it's just so
yeah.
natural, and it still takes energy to keep them up." Like,
Yeah, that it takes all of her energy and takes all of her focus. Like, she really has to work hard on this, and she's almost, like, berating him about how she needs to trust how he needs to trust her more, and how she doesn't necessarily need to be as forthcoming with him, and it gets just to a point where obviously Xaden is getting like, this is a little too much
mhm,
for
and
both of us, and
yeah, and he's
openly
like,
states, "I need to
I
walk away."
yeah, he's like, "I'll see you later. I need to go
Yeah.
find Bodhi." Like,
Mhm.
I I don't wanna dig a deeper hole for myself, so I'm gonna walk away before I say something I will regret. We
Mhm.
can, like, talk about this later, which good for him. Like, that is something that is hard to do. Like, when you're in that heat of the moment
Yep.
and it's hard to walk away. And so, like, the fact that he was able to, like, "I don't wanna say something I'll regret later. I'm walking away. I'm gonna do the responsible thing. I will see you later. We could talk about this later when we've taken a breath.
Mhm.
Everything is fine."
Absolutely, which I think is, like, a great thing to do, but also, like, props to both of them. One, for him to say, "Hey, let's table the conversation and come back to it. Like, let's circle back to
Mhm.
it." But then also, like, props to her for saying, "Okay, if you want that space, I'm going to give you that space." Because immediately her thought in her mind was, "Well, you don't get to decide when we're arguing and when we're not. Like, you don't get to
Yeah.
walk away from this because you don't get to decide when everything is over and we're like done arguing almost." And she does recognize that, hey, he's asking for space, and so I'm going to give him the space that he needs, and
Yeah.
it's going to be okay, which is really hard
Mhm.
to sit with.
Yeah. Because it is, like, a lot of the time, like, I know, at least in my head, it's like when I'm in those moments, I'm like, "I just wanna get this done. Like, can we
Yeah.
just get this done and over with? We're on the same page, cool, we're done." But sometimes it gets to the point where it's not productive. You're
Yeah.
just yelling at each other. This is
Hmm.
not a productive conversation. We're not getting anything done with this. Let's take a second, take a breath. We can come back while tabling it. We're not throwing it in the trash. We're tabling it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that it's hard for a lot of people to table conversations and not just throw it away.
Mhm.
Because I feel like a lot of people, when they hear that somebody's like, hey, I'm so sorry, but like, I can't talk about this right now, and I just need some space, and we can come back and talk to it in a little bit. I feel like a lot of people, you know, it is a pattern of behavior for certain people, especially if you haven't worked on it, to say that just to get away from it and then never actually circle back. So I understand like that whiplash almost, where it's like, oh, I feel like a lot of people have heard that and have given their partner space and then have had the unresolved moment. Well, you never brought it back up again. So
Mhm.
how do I know when you're ready to bring that back up? Like, did you
Yeah.
even think about it? Did you forget about it? Like, what's going on? This is still like such an unresolved feeling.
Yeah, and especially if, like, you're the one that brought it up first, it could be a, "Why am I the only one bringing it up? Like, do you not care about how I'm feeling?" type of thing,
Mhm.
like, especially if you're already angry about this
Absolutely.
situation, it's hard.
And I feel like it's especially hard for them, especially for Violet, to hear that Xaden needs space at this time,
Mhm.
because they always have a lot of space. There's always
Yeah.
a lot of distance because they don't live together. They don't live together in the same place, you know?
Yeah, and there's also such space between them emotionally right now,
Hmm.
like, especially right now, where
Yes.
they're both, like, trust goes both ways, and they're both not doing that, and,
Yeah.
like, they're So there's just so much space in between them right now. So I do get God, I just want to talk about it. Like, we have so much space. Can we just talk? But I do
Yeah,
like how she's like, I need to do the mature thing and let him go. Like,
absolutely, because that is the thing to do, and I'm glad that she did that. And then, she's kind of like actually realizing that she does have a bigger trump card on Yesenia than she thought that she had,
yeah,
especially after talking to Xaden. And she does let him leave. She's realizing that, and then that's how like the chapter ends, is like they both need space from each other because they were unable to finish this really hard conversation because both of them got too frustrated to actually talk about it.
yeah, yeah, which happens, but they do
Mm-hmm.
need to talk about it. Like, it is a very
Yeah,
important conversation they need to have. Like, because you can have a heated discussion without it being a fight. And I think
absolutely.
that, and it takes a lot of work to get to that point, especially if you
Mm-hmm.
haven't like worked on yourself. And if and so it's hard to get to the point where it's like, okay, take a deep breath. I'm upset and I'm frustrated, but I don't need to be screaming about it.
Absolutely. I also just think that it comes to the idea of it's awkward and it's uncomfortable to have
Mm-hmm.
hard conversations, but
Yeah.
it's necessary to have hard conversations.
Yeah. And if you can't have like having those hard conversations shows that you trust the person because you're vulnerable when you have those conversations. If you're like,
Mm-hmm.
you are vulnerable because you're talking about something you don't like and you're uncomfortable with, and that is a vulnerability. And so you're trusting the person you're having that conversation with not to immediately like yell at you about it or fire back and like use it against you.
Yeah.
And so having that trust makes it a lot easier, and they clearly do not have it.
Yeah. It I think time will tell.
Yeah, I agree.
And that
And
launches us into chapter 19.
launches like dragons.
Yep.
Anyway, so chapter 19 starts with they're at flight maneuvers. Bodhi couldn't.
Really? You didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. You made that joke and then you didn't follow through with the way that the chapter starts.
They launch into flight maneuvers. Can
I
you do it? How
guess.
would you have said it?
No,
Please
it's
enlighten
fine.
me.
No,
No,
it's
no, you
fine,
need to enlighten.
Ashley. It's fine because
Enlighten me.
I was like, "Oh, and that launches us into chapter 19." And you were like dragons.
Yep.
And you could have just been like dragons on the flight field for flight maneuvers.
Damn it.
Bam.
That is, yeah, damn.
Like,
So
Ashley.
they're like dragons on the flight field for flight maneuvers. And, and Violet is really, really, really nervous because, Andarna isn't there. She's in the deepest part of the dreamless sleep. They're not about to bring her, obviously, because no. And Varys is watching.
Mm-hmm.
And, the entire squad is kind of being like, Varys and Solus is a really really odd pairing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's something off.
Yeah. And they're like, why is he like looking at you like that? Like, he just seems really angry at you. And
he's like angry, but also like he has like that shit-eating grin on his face.
Yeah. He's fucking enjoying it.
Yeah.
But he's just staring at her. You could tell he's angry, but he's enjoying it.
Yeah.
And they're like, what is happening? Like, why is he
like
looking
a lot
at
of malicious intent.
Yes. And they're like, why is he looking at you like that? Like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm.
And, she starts kind of giving them selective truth about, what's happening. And they're like, oh, he wants Andarna to be here. And Radic does kind of go like, oh, like, we haven't seen her in a while. Is she doing okay? And she's like, yeah, it's just because we're doing more extensive flight maneuvers. Like, she can't keep up. So there's no point really staying.
And her participating.
For her to participate. And, that was a good answer. Because
for sure.
Yeah, no, and, like,
it's a good cover.
It's a good cover. And, there's probably some truth to that. Like, she would have a hard time keeping up.
She would.
with those maneuvers. And she's just again like Varish is obsessed with her. Like he really wants to see her. And, Ree is kind of upset at that answer. She's like, okay.
Yeah. Because
Of course, obviously, it makes sense. And, Taryn is like, and Violet is kind of like, God, like, I hope she forgives me for this. Like, I hate this. Like, you can tell she just has such an inner turmoil of, like, I hate doing this. And Taryn does say, she's like, humans have the memory of gnats, and dragons hold grudges. Like, you're gonna be fine. She will forgive you.
Yeah.
Yep. And, Varish kind of starts walking over, and he's like, oh, like, are you gonna attack me? Because, I mean, if someone sneaks up on her, what is her first instinct? Because, she's been, the victim of assassinations recently. I guess she hasn't died, but, the target. There we go, the target.
I was like,
she hasn't died yet.
I guess she is dead. It's a ghost.
It's been a ghost this entire time. She died going across the parapet.
I fucking knew it.
That's the ending.
I fucking knew it. She was a figment of Ree's imagination because she doesn't really have friends, and she was like looking for somebody to be her friend.
That would be so sad.
I knew it.
Wow.
This is actually all a fiction, a nonfiction. A fictional book that Yesenia wrote for the archives to have fun.
There you go.
Fictional romance.
This was all. Yep. There you go. It was all fake.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and Violet does say like, "Oh, I attack anybody foolish enough to sneak up behind me this year."
Because so valid.
Yeah. Because so people have been doing that. That's scary.
It's scary. Yeah.
And she's so on edge because she hasn't processed Resin yet. Like she hasn't processed what happened, and because she doesn't have many people to confide into about it.
Absolutely.
There's no therapist here from what I've seen.
No.
And even then, like, she probably wouldn't trust the therapist with that knowledge because, and so, sorry.
But Varish comes up and charges her with dereliction of duty because Andarna is not there. And
Taryn gets so upset.
Well, because Varish is like, we're going to charge you with dereliction of duty and you're not going to participate in flight maneuvers. We're going to go and we're going to start the punishment now. And Taryn knows that this is going to not necessarily, like, that this will probably kill her. Like, she cannot physically do this without burning out. The imminent fear of death is there. And as we know, Taryn openly said, I will not lose you. I cannot handle another writer dying on me.
Yeah, like, you are not mine. You are not.
You are the last writer I will ever take. There's not going to be one after you. Yeah. It did take him, years to even bond somebody. So he's very serious about the people that he bonds. And so hearing that she was going to be punished for a dragon made him extremely upset, because also, once again, it comes down to the fact of dragons do not listen to humans. Dragons are not under human law. Humans have no right to demand anything from humans. Yeah. And he openly says that not even the smallest dragon would listen to the strongest human, and you are not the strongest human here.
Yeah, and like humans, like, the respect goes both ways. And so it's like, if you're flying and like, okay, we're going to go this way. Okay, that's so different.
Absolutely. And I think what it really comes down to is like the respect of it. And so Taryn is, growling and basically sending the message through people's heads. So like, it's interesting to see how everybody is reacting around what is actually happening, because he openly states like, I and Darna do not listen to you. And Varys says, but she does. And then he charges and says, does she? And then at this point, grabs Solus.
Yeah.
Because he says that only a writer can hold the position that you hold. And if you don't have a dragon, you are not a writer.
Yep. And he's like threatening to kill Solus.
I mean, Solus is in his mouth. Like his neck is in his mouth, biting down, and there are marks. There's blood. There's like
everything.
Like everything.
Everything.
Solus just thrashing.
Yeah, and Varys is like, fine, like I won't punish her, blah blah blah. And he's like, not good enough. I need an apology. And Violet is like, no, I don't. It's fine. I'm not gonna get punished. It's okay. And he's like, it's not good enough for me. I'm speaking for Andarna. Like, get on your knees.
Yeah, like apologize. Apologize right fucking now.
Yep.
Because if you don't, I'm gonna slaughter your dragon, and we're gonna see how well this goes. And it's so interesting because everybody around them immediately drops their head. Everybody around them, like all of the other dragons, are like, that's crazy. I am definitely not here.
Yes, like I'm just gonna look at the pretty flower on the ground.
Yeah, like if invisibility was a thing or teleportation was a thing, they would all be out of there
so
hands
quick.
down. Like if moving was safe, they would do it. But it's not safe right now. So everybody just stands still, looks down, and it's like, don't make eye contact. Like, if we don't make eye contact, they don't see us, and we don't exist. That's like, they're like, no, that's not happening.
No. And, so Varys does get down on his knees and starts apologizing. And like, I'm sorry. And then, she is like, that's fine. It's good.
Like, she's like, I accept.
I accept it. And she says it in the bond, and then she like yells it out loud as well. And then, Taryn does back down and is like, okay, the problem solved.
Yeah, he's very happy with like that resolution, and like Varys stays on his knees until Taryn lets go of Solus, and Solus is out of eyesight.
Yeah.
And then he gets back up, and as Taryn is saying that this problem is fixed, Varys is looking at Violet like even worse than he did before. Not saying anything, but looking at her way worse. Yep. She openly says that, man, I know that Varys was my enemy, but now I also think that Solus is my enemy as well. That we just, like, everybody we're not gonna do well.
We're not in a good place right now.
Yeah, we're not in a good place.
Yeah. And so then before we do that, let's talk about the scene. I know you loved the scene. You loved Taryn in the scene. Yeah. I absolutely love Taryn in the scene. I think it's so fun.
I loved him in this scene because I loved how fierce he was. I loved that this was a dragon handling dragon's business. I also understand why.
A lot of that.
No, we don't. We don't see a lot of that because we only really get, Violet's point of view. So, we only get like the human side of it. But then to see how, once again, the display of power and how majestically scary they are, that like these are such like beautiful, majestic creatures, but at their core they are vicious, wild animals.
Yeah,
that is like at their core they are predators. And to see it happen and to have it put on display, especially for Taryn to put it on display. Yes, Taryn is the biggest dragon there. Everybody knows more or less not to fuck with him.
Yeah.
But if you've noticed around Violet, he's very tame. He also is like teaching Andarna, like, hey, yeah, it'd be super cool to eat all of our enemies, but maybe that's not the best way to go about it. And
Wow.
so a lot of times Taryn is speaking from the place of frustration as well as rationality of what they should actually be doing. But here we actually see him use physical actions to make a point, to assert his dominance of being the biggest one and being, a leader of sorts. So, and to see that somebody, and you can also see that he takes it so personally in terms of like Violet. Like he truly deeply cares about Violet, because if he didn't truly deeply care about Violet, like, yeah, we can twist it and say that he did it for Indarna, but I personally don't think he did. He did it
I
for
think he
Violet.
did it for Violet.
And
absolutely,
that was one of the things that I think is so nice about the scene, is that you see that Taryn is also fiercely loyal.
And he definitely like stepped into that like father role where he's like, hey, look, like,
let's do quotes.
Quotes, not like, like father role. And it's in quotes, but he does deeply care for Indarna and Violet. Like, and
Absolutely.
like he gets annoyed with her. He's like, God, you're so dumb. Like, you wanted him to know. Shut up.
Absolutely.
But he does care for her so much. And it is, like you said, like, it's fun to see the dragon matters actually put in display, because we don't see it very often. And it's fun to see him, like, he's saying it's for Indarna, but like you said, it's for Violet, and like protecting,
Absolutely.
like, hey. And it's fun also to see the antagonist literally drop to his knees to have to apologize.
Yeah.
Like, the way, like, he acts so tough and strong, but in reality, he's not.
I mean,
like, he is.
In all reality, he still knows his place in the food chain. I think that's what it really comes down to, is that he was very aware. But also, he knows that if Solus dies, he is dead as well.
Yeah.
Like, people know this. Like, this is a very regularly talked about bond. And not only that, is I do think that in a sick, twisted way, Varys does care for Solus. Yeah. And, in a sick, twisted way, Solus does care about Varys. They wouldn't be bonded if they didn't care about each other.
Yeah. But it is in a very twisted way. And so then there's a time skip. And
we fast forward 3 days.
3 days, and Rhiannon is walking Violet to the flight field to go,
which is new.
Yep, for sure. And so she's walking her to the flight field, and she, they're talking, and they're like, well, like, she's like, are you gonna make me use interrogation techniques they're talking about for you to talk to me? And she's like, I want to know about the punishment he made you do. Like, what is happening? Like, you're so closed off. And so Violet tells a little bit, like, oh, he made me do this. And she's like, I don't see you anymore. Like, there's a space between Xaden and Violet, but like, there's space between her and Rhiannon. Like, she really put like so much space of bubble wrap in between everybody.
But also, like, she the reason why, like, Rhiannon says that is because Violet's like, oh, it's a long walk to the flight field, you really don't have to walk me. And she's like, no, I want, like, it's not far. One, it's not far, and I never see you. Just like, let me do this, like, please. And Violet has that feeling of, man, I really do fucking miss my friends. Like, I miss
and
having
she's
them.
said that like multiple times in the past couple chapters. Like, it's becoming more and more like, I miss
prevalent
them. Prevalent. Like, I really miss having them. And so they're walking to the flight field, and they pass the gauntlet, and they're talking about it, and Violet's like, I think the gauntlet has its place here,
which is interesting, because Rhiannon is like, I'm not looking forward for people to train on the gauntlet. Like, I just think that it's maybe not worth it.
And, Violet's, and she's like, well, what about Orally, which is the girl that died,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the
In
first
front,
year.
yeah, in front of
And
Violet. She
yeah,
was in between Ree and Violet.
yeah. And, she's like, well, like, what if she lived? And Violet's like, I think she would have been a phenomenal writer, probably even better than me.
Mm-hmm.
But me seeing her die made me a better writer.
Yeah.
And, they kind of start arguing about that. And then, you know, it reaches the point where they're like really yelling and like yelling at each other. And Violet's like, like scream crying. Not scream, but like
Yeah.
yell crying. Like she's yelling and yelling. She's angry, but she's also kind of starting to cry. She's like, you don't know what's out there. You don't know why I run every single morning. And she's like, of course you don't, because you don't tell me anything.
Yeah.
It's like huge tension.
Which, I mean, I think that is so valid. Like,
Yeah.
Violet is sitting over here throwing herself a. Sorry, I'm going to just kind of go off for a second. Violet is sitting over here throwing herself a fucking pity party. And Rhiannon is like, of course I don't fucking know. Of course I don't. You have every right to say that I don't fucking know, but why do I not know? Whose fault is that?
Yeah.
And Violet is like trying to justify this and be like, you just don't know, like you don't understand. And she was like, even though I'm quiet, like you're still my best friend. That's what you are. And I love that Rhiannon's like, but best friends tell each other the truth.
Mm-hmm.
They do, period. That
Yeah.
is what it is. You tell each other the truth.
Yeah. And there's this moment where Violet really, like, she is about to tell Rhiannon about everything. Like, she's about to do it. And then Taryn does go, no, it's Solas's writer.
Yeah, which I love that Taryn never references him as like a name. He's just Solas's writer. That's it.
Yeah. Yes,
that's the
absolutely.
only thing.
And so she did get cut off. And, Varys is like, you know the drill, dump your bag. And Rihanna's just kind of standing there like, what is happening? I am confused.
Yeah, she's like, is this normal? Does this always happen?
Yeah. And she's like, yep, every single time. And she's like, why? Like, why are they doing that? And Violet's like, they'll never trust Aiden's last name. And she just go, which they do have a point, but
yeah, rightfully so, but also.
Yep. And then, she's like, I'd rather you yell at me than pretend everything's all right when it's not. Which is such a good line.
I love that.
I did love. And again, I don't, like you said, it wasn't the breaking point, but it's so close to it.
Yeah, just the fact that Rhiannon is able to say, like, hey, I'd rather you yell at me than for us to sit in silence and you think that it's okay. And, like, just to pretend that it's okay, because I would rather not do that. I think it's just like a testament that Rhiannon wants to fight for that relationship. She wants to be talked to. She wants to be heard. She wants to be seen. And she wants to hear and see Violet just as much as she wants those things for herself.
Yeah.
And Violet, we know that Violet deep down in her soul wants that. We know it. We know that that's what she needs. That's what she's longing for. That's what she's been missing in like the first part of this book. But she's scared. And scared. It's understandable that she's scared, but also at the same time, when your friends prove over and over and over and over again how loyal they are to you, to me, that's the point when you have to realize that they are different people, that they are not just you. And that also, comes into like that hyper independence that like, Xaden also has that hyper independence and like that self-confidence, that self-worth of like, oh, I'm not worthy. But for her, it's not necessarily that she's not worthy of that trust, that she's not like feeling like she's not worthy of that type of reciprocation. She's just so like, if anybody's going to get hurt, I'd rather it be me than my friends. And so she's like, so therefore to protect my friends so they don't get hurt, I'm not going to tell them anything. But in this conversation, I feel like she finally had the realization of, oh shit, I'm doing the exact same thing. Because if I don't tell them, they're going to be in danger because they're not going to be prepared for what's out there.
Yep.
But if I do tell them, they're going to be in danger, but they will be prepared for what's out there.
Which, that option sounds a lot better than I thought, than the other one.
Absolutely. Because that's the option she would have chose for herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like that's the thing, is that Violet, especially within these first chapters, is so selfish because she's demanding these very specific needs, wants, and boundaries from a lot of people around her, but is not practicing her own standards.
Yeah.
She's not holding herself to her own standards, which I think is also why her values are misaligned, especially in this first book, which is why she's having so much turmoil, because she's not living with her values. She's not saying, hey, I value my friends and I will be honest.
Yeah.
Because that's all she wants. She wants other people to value her friends, and value herself as a friend, and trust her and be honest. Those are her big values.
Yep.
But she's not living with those values. And I feel like Rhiannon had every right to say everything that she did in the conversation.
Yeah.
And it's like, it sucks that Varish was already there so that we didn't get the conclusion to that conversation. But I also think that there's a time and a place.
Yep.
And you got to gauge when that time and the place is. And unfortunately, that was just not the time nor the place.
Yeah. Because it is like we said, like, she was about to say everything. And so it's like, we know now she's almost ready. She's about to tell them.
Yeah.
She's so close. It's just like you said, there needs to be a time and a place for it. Yeah.
But that's kind of how the chapter ends. She
is.
Flies off to see Xaden and, Yeah.
And so now we're getting into the spoiler section. So if you are reading along with us or you have not read this book before and you don't want any spoilers, I would stop here. We're going to be talking about much further book spoilers from here on out. So we love you. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're leaving here, do the likes, the comments, the subscribes. We appreciate all of it. And we will see you next week.
Absolutely. And if you are here for the spoiler section, welcome. To the spoiler side. We know our normal routine, we're going to start off with the beginning excerpts. There's a lot of things that I'm super excited to talk about.
Excited.
I do wish that I would have done slightly more research, especially about the first beginning excerpt that we're going to talk about, just to figure out what names are what. Because I do feel like I feel like the names are important. I feel like these are
why would they be there if they weren't important?
I absolutely agree. Why would they be there if they're not important? I do feel like these are people that either are parents of characters that have rebellion relics, or these are parents of characters that are really close to Violet.
Yeah.
Or I was also thinking, I was like, what if they're research partners of Violet's dads?
Yeah. Or what if these are all kind of later on, and these are, the characters, we just didn't know it. And so I'm going to be reading the first beginning excerpt of chapter 18. And if I butcher all these names, I apologize. There's so many.
Yeah, there's so many.
It was only when we pushed the wards to their true limits, extending them far past what we first thought possible, and what to now I now question is sustainable, that we defined the borders of Navarre, regretfully knowing not every citizen will benefit from their protection. The Journey of the First Six, a second-hand account by Sagar Olsen, first curator of the Scribe Quadrant, Besguy's War College. Translated into the common language by Captain Madeline Carros, 12th curator of the Scribe Quadrant, Besguy's War College. Translated and redacted for academic consumption by Colonel Phineas Cartland, 27th curator of the Scribe Quadrant at Besguy's War College.
So it's interesting that it went like every 12 years they updated their history, almost like they changed it. But like the last one openly said it was redacted and revised for quote unquote academic purposes. But why would you redact it for an academic purpose? Yeah. So it's very interesting to see that, especially because within these chapters and within a lot of it, besides the fact that coconut water, it's not a sponsor, but any coconut water should sponsor us. It's not a sponsor, but coconut water should be a sponsor of ours.
Yes, it really should.
Really, really should. The fact that they are openly saying that they're redacting things, and within this book, it is so prevalent.
That is. And if you go back and like read the beginning excerpts, more than half are redacted.
Mm-hmm.
It says redacted by Colonel Atos, blah, 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 blah.
Which is so interesting because why are they redacting history for students? You know, that goes into the idea of propaganda that we talked about, you know, last time. And it's interesting to hear that this is now becoming such a prevalent theme within this book.
Yeah, for sure. And how interesting that how they did say not every citizen will be protected by the wards. And so I'm wondering if at first they were trying to protect Griffin Riders, because we know from later that Griffin Riders, like, it weakens their magic. The wards weaken their magic. And so I'm curious if at first it was we're protecting everybody. And then...
I mean, I think it's hard because they did end up closing their borders. So Griffin Rider or not, you couldn't get in.
Yeah.
So I also think that that's what they meant, because I think that, Navarre just openly states that they are the continent. Like, and it's the
but it doesn't seem like it's a full continent.
Exactly.
Tierndor. And so it's interesting in how they really believe like they are the biggest, best continent, but it's like, you're a country on a continent.
Exactly. And so the fact that they call themselves the continent and things like that makes me believe that previously in their history that they were much, much bigger. But we actually know that they were.
Because Tierndor was a part of them. They broke off.
Yes. Tierndor was a part of them, and then they broke off. But also, we know that they were because they moved there.
Yeah.
They moved to that area.
Like they did not start off there.
They did not start off there. They moved there, so it's like we know that it was bigger. And we can kind of see that in like the next
book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of get more into like the land
development
more in book 3. And so chapter 19, its beginning excerpt is very short. Dragons do not answer to the whims of men. Colonel Kaori's Field Guide to Dragonkind.
Which, I mean, very fitting.
Very fitting. That was a great chapter. These 2 chapters were actually I did like that. I did very much enjoy them.
Yeah, I liked them. I think that they challenged Violet in a lot of different ways and just, I guess, restated the fact that Violet does have a lot of loyal people in her corner if she would just let them be there for her, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And so the first thing that I wanted to mention was the intrinsic thing was right there.
It
was right there.
So there.
My gosh. It literally was like, I'm just a great judge of character. It was the...
I love that she openly stated that, like, she's like, you can't just look at people and know their intentions.
Yep, like, no one is that powerful.
Openly said that.
Openly said it. And he's like, well, I'm just a great judge of character. I'm just a great judge of character.
I was like, oh my God, sir.
Right, that, like, oh my God.
And we have seen it a little bit before, but it was never as, like, blatantly stated.
Yeah, because before it was like, in the very beginning, I remember,
Mm-hmm.
like, he would use it on Violet, and she would feel like this little
Like the
tingling on the back of her head, which is him, reading her intentions,
Mm-hmm.
and it's why he trusted her under the tree, and it's why he trusted her,
Yeah.
Throughout the book, but, like, it was right there. Like, he literally pretty much said it without saying it.
Mm-hmm. He said it without saying it, and, like, it is hard. I will admit, it is hard to watch him still hold that back from her, especially when they're talking so much about how truthful he needs to be
Mm-hmm.
and about how betrayed she already feels about certain things. And it is hard to watch him do that, but it's also at the same time, I really do understand.
Yeah, like, obviously, running the revolution is also a death sentence, but
Mm-hmm.
being an intrinsic, I feel like it's a whole different level. Like, there's just that, like,
Yeah.
from
I mean, either way,
birth.
he's going to be put to death, but with
But there's
this, he could have been put to death way sooner.
Yeah. And it's like, they might never find out about the revolution for years, but if they find out about him being an intrinsic, like, that's scary. And we see it, it's like, it's so ingrained in this culture that intrinsics are bad, and you kill them on sight, pretty much.
Yeah. And it is one of those things where it's like, if you thought about that, that's scary. That is a very, very powerful tool. And these people could hold a lot of power.
Yeah.
And
so it's
change a lot of things.
Yeah. And so I guess I understand the mentality, but it is interesting and how they're like, oh, just kill them on sight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just their logic for it is very interesting to me.
Yeah. I also just think that it's interesting that certain intrinsics are like less threatening, such as Dane and things like that. And even Varish. Varish is a certain type of.
Yeah, it's like he can feel your pain or something.
Yeah, I'm not quite I can't really remember what it is, but and
it's
also
something.
Like we see that like Cat is a type of intrinsic because she can manipulate emotions like that, and I would say that that's part of like the mind bending skill.
Yeah, because like there's physical signets and whereas like mental signets, and I feel like they just all kind of branch off. Like those are the two big branches, and then they all kind of branch off from there. So then you have like intrinsic, but then you have like mind emotion bending. And like so it's like they're under the same branch, but she's not an intrinsic, if that makes sense. It's kind of how I see it.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is like I don't necessarily see it like that. I see like she is like more closely to that thing because it is a mental thing.
Yeah.
Like she can read emotions and heighten emotions.
Fair.
So if she can't, so it's like if she wasn't able to read emotions, I definitely understand that. But if she's able to read the emotions and then heighten them, I feel like that's exactly what Xaden does. Xaden reads intentions. That's all he does is read emotions.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything, like he can't manipulate them like she does, but he reads emotions. Yeah. And Dane sees memories by touch.
Yeah.
Which obviously, yes, is more of like a broader is more of like the like hit the nail on the head of what an intrinsic is. But I just think that a lot of these mental abilities all fall under, like you said, the umbrella of an intrinsic.
Yeah. And it is so interesting at the difference of like they're keeping Dane alive because his dad is Colonel Atos, and whereas like
I think they're keeping Dane alive because his signet can be easily controlled because it's not always on. Like if it was always on, like the guy in the courtyard, it'd be different.
Yeah. Because the guy in the courtyard was just yelling what people are thinking.
But also, it's one of those things where it's like, does that happen every single time an intrinsic awakens? Because, because we see it when Xaden confesses it later
That's true.
on.
I feel like his is a
Onyx
little
Storm.
bit different than
Yeah.
the one that was killed, because the one that was killed, I mean, he was reciting what you were thinking, and where Xaden is like, oh, I can kind of.
He just started feeling a lot more, but it was still extremely overwhelming, and he had to keep that under control.
Yeah, and we see that he was kind of doing that himself, whereas mastering the shadows, because a lot of the marked ones have 2 signets, as we find out, and how he was like, and they kept asking, he's like, do you have another signet? Do you have another signet? And he's like, nope. And he just really focused on making his shadows really strong so he can be like, oh no, like I was just given a really strong signet.
Yeah. Because I mean, they didn't really ask him point blank if he had 2 signets because it's very rare. And they don't know that mostly everybody does have 2 signets. And you see it. Like, Liam, for instance, used his second signet.
Ice. In the first book.
In the first book. Like, you saw it. We saw that they did have 2 signets, but they only use it, like, at certain times. And it's interesting.
Imogenous 2 signets.
Yes, that is correct. But, you know, it's interesting to see how early on in the book that it actually is foreshadowed that most of them do have 2 signets.
Yeah. And I think, at least from what I've read and kind of heard, is like the dragons are all bonding in the humans'
in the descendant
lines. In the descendant lines. And that it can cause you to have 2 signets. And I mean, even technically, Violet is an intrinsic in book 3. At least it could be now.
Okay, so listen, you're like,
they say it.
Cat doesn't count as an intrinsic, but Violet does, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. That logic was crazy.
That logic was she's so an intrinsic. Xaden does say you are the most dangerous form of intrinsic because they're asleep and they don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna openly say it. I think that her walking through dreams is the most bullshittiest power in the entire world. I'm still so fucking upset about it. And I will be upset because I think it's fucking lame. I don't care. Sorry, I know that we're not talking about it right now, but
now we are.
I think that it's lame and it's an excuse and it's a cop out. Like, I'm going to be so real and honest about it. Like, if you read a lot of fantasy, what Dreamwalker is not a fucking support character?
Yeah.
Tell me, like, you're having your main character who has fought for her right to be on the battlefield, has, like, been like, I'm a small little girl and now I can fight and I'm so, so big. But my main power is going to sleep and not participating in battles. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, sorry. Like,
I don't think that's going to happen.
Immediately, no.
Because I've also heard that we have to get into this when it actually happens.
So but upset
I have heard that, like, she might have walked into Riddick's daydream. Like, you know how you can kind of daydream? Like, she might have walked into his daydream.
Okay, sure. But
I don't think that they're going to make her, like, fall asleep on a battlefield and just, like, go sleep and, like, manipulate the brains while we fight. Like, she does have a fighting signet as well. So we'll see what happens.
For sure. But, like, at the end of the day, I don't know.
I think it's...
I know Ashley was more excited. Ashley was way more excited about it than I was. And I was like, I just think it's such a bullshit fucking power. I hate it.
I'm curious to see where it's going to go. Because apparently we've only seen 10% of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, of course. Like we've only actually seen 10% of Xaden's power. But, like, if we actually... like, I'm so sorry. I'm also just not looking forward to that training montage. Like, that training montage is going to be so fucking boring.
There hasn't been really a training montage so far. Like, there has been, but it's not, like,
not
certain
nearly
books.
as long. It's not nearly as long as some other books, but, like...
I'm hoping it stays that way. Because, like, I kind of, like, the training montages in this book are okay because it's kind of with other things. It's not just training.
Okay, the training montages in this book is better than the training montages in the next book, for sure. Only because there is a little bit more emotional turmoil, which makes it slightly more interesting because they're still figuring out their dynamic. But in the next book, when the dynamic is kind of already figured out, I got bored. I'm going to say it. And, like, towards the end of this book, I get bored.
Yeah.
I do.
The emotional turmoil is what's entertaining.
It's the spoiler alert, Kaylee. I didn't love this book and I didn't love the next book. And I think it's just like a personal preference. And it's not that I don't enjoy them, because I could, like I said, could talk about this for hours. Look at me going on about this book.
I mean, we've talked about how many, like, just
so
in
many
the
hours.
podcast, we've talked over probably 40 hours.
Absolutely.
And that's not counting when we first read it. We probably talked about it for, what, 200 hours? Like,
absolutely. Like, I could talk for a really long time about this book, but there's a lot of things in this book that really just
hit those nerves where you're like,
I don't love every aspect about it, even though I do think that it's entertaining. But I still stand by it right now, before the series has ended. Currently, with the books that are out, the first book is still my favorite, and I think the other books after this are just get weaker. Only due to the fact that first of all, let me say this. I do take into account their age. I take into account their age and where they are mentally and what they are mentally capable of doing. I really do take that into account, and I just find it annoying. I find it annoying. I find their immaturity annoying, and I've said it before, but I don't think they should be together. I think that they're great separate.
Yeah.
I think that they're amazing separate, and I personally, we've openly said it. It should be a Romeo and Juliet. They should both die. They shouldn't be together. And
I do
that's the way that it should
to enemies. Like, I want her because I know we've said it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
How many times has he said, "You're going to be the death of me"? And then, especially in book 3, he's like, "You need to know how to kill me. You are the only one that can kill me because you have the lightning. So you need to learn how to kill me, and you need to do it." And also how Riddick makes her draw the line, and it was such an apparent thing. He's gonna cross that line. He has to.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it was such an apparent thing where, okay, fine, where's the line? Okay, if he hurts me or my friends. Okay, so what if he kills Ree?
Oh,
or something.
I think it's gonna be either Ree or Riddick.
So sad.
I mean, that is just like what it is. I also think that Ree is going to die in the next book. It's just like a thing. Like, it's gonna happen, because I don't think that it's gonna be any more of the marked ones yet.
No, and
because
I think
Imogen is too big of a player.
And
Bodhi and Garrick is too big of a player. Ree is it's the perfect time for her. I hate to say it. I love Ree.
I love Ree, but also it makes me happy because from what we've seen, Rebecca is okay with killing off characters. And so I'm curious.
We say that as she's really only killed off one main character.
Main character.
But
she had, death is very apparent in the book.
For sure, definitely. Characters die every time, but...
Yeah, but she's only killed off one main character so far. But I'm hoping that she has, the balls to kill
I think she's gonna do it, because
I think she can.
The setup for Rhiannon's death is gonna be good. It's already there. We had, the shock and awe moment with Mira.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we had the shock and awe moment with Mira, but now circling back into this book, we see how much effort and work that Rebecca, the author, put into building up Rhee and Violet's friendship, and how fierce Rhiannon is, and how much she would literally die for her, and has openly said that. Especially in this book, she's like, I will go up to bat for you. Let's go.
Yep.
And so
Like,
it's like,
no hesitation.
yeah, no hesitation. And this is why I'm like, yeah, no, in the next book, it's going to be her. Like,
It is. And I think
I'll
Xaden is
be a
going to be
little
the one to do it.
disappointed. Yeah, I was like, I'll also be disappointed.
Yeah, like, I'm going to be really sad. Because, like, when Liam died, I love Liam. He was so sweet. And it's like, I was sad, but it's also, oh my gosh, a fantasy author had the balls to kill off a main character.
Yeah. I mean, I openly told, I told Ashley, I was like, I do have a feeling that Liam is going to die. And if she doesn't kill him off, I will hate the book. Like, I'm just gonna be openly like, I will not like it. I think that it could have ended better. And I'm glad that she chose to do that because that is a more powerful ending, especially for the readers. But I also think that within this book, we see her build those friendships. As frustrating and as immature as she is, and how like much I want to scream at her every single time because she's not living with her values and she's disrespecting herself. And not only that, she's disrespecting her friends. Mm-hmm. And it bothers the living shit out of me. Like, no, same. It really does. It bothers the living shit out of me the way that she's treating her friends because it's just, I don't know. As everybody can tell, I'm very intense about my friends. I love my friends. And
so much.
And I do like heavily relate to Ree, as in, I don't give a shit what you do. As long as you're honest, you're truthful, I will go up to bat for you every single fucking day.
Yeah.
Period. Like, if you're honest with me and you're truthful with me, let's fucking do it. I will bury a body in the fucking backyard. Let's go. Yeah. You know, as long as we're safe about it, okay?
Yeah, like, let's be smart about it.
Yeah,
safe and smart. Mm-hmm. But I'll do it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
you want
absolutely.
Me to go? We're gonna go kill that guy? Sure, let's go do it.
Let's do it. Like, yeah, like, I'm on board. I am 110% that person. Mm-hmm. But I think that that's also why, for me, these books are so frustrating because I have that core value of my friends mean everything to me. And I couldn't imagine treating my friends like this.
Oh,
and
God, no.
And that, to me, is also, like, a big reason why I'm like, I think that it's disgusting, and her behavior in this book is disgusting.
Yeah.
And also, it's like, you know, on the flip side, I also think that it's just like a fun, entertaining book, but also there's a lot of things that I'm like, I hate it.
Yeah. And it is frustrating, and it is definitely her age. And I know I technically am her age as well, but I feel like I've gone through many years of therapy. I feel like I'm more emotionally mature than she is.
I thought there was going to be more of a follow-up. I didn't know I was supposed to say yeah right after that. I'm sorry. I thought there was going to be like a lead through.
Oh, here. I got you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, here you go. And at least, like, I've learned, like, more about, like, communication. It's like, where, like, hey, you don't need to be... Yeah, no problem. You need to take a breath, and you can have those hard conversations. It doesn't mean the person hates you, and they're not going to attack you. You are fine. But if you keep it in, it's going to make the entire situation worse, and that's where it starts becoming an issue. And because I've gone through so much therapy and everything, I've learned, okay, if something's bothering you, just bring it up, have a conversation about it, be truthful and honest, and move on. And that's where I'm like, I think I'm a lot more emotionally mature than many people my age, and especially Violet.
Yeah, it's just like,
I know you would not be friends with me if I know, and I know you would not be friends with me if I acted my age.
No, because our age difference is fucking wild. Never in my goddamn life. I'm so sorry. Never in my goddamn life. Ever.
Yeah.
It's just like it's so interesting how like she treats people in this book.
Yeah.
But then also just, you know, understanding the world and the idea of it is definitely, you know, a big thing, and understanding like they are at war, you know, like she is over here and she's being like super immature about like the way that she treats her friends. But I do agree with her that I do think that the wards and protection around Erasia is going to protect them more than weapons ever could. Absolutely. Where Xaden is over here saying we should only go to war. Weapons are the only thing that's going to protect Erasia. And not only is Xaden saying that, but Brennan is also saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it is like because of the circumstance, like because of the circumstances, I understand where Violet is coming from, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating.
Exactly. It doesn't make it any less frustrating. And, you know, when they're having the conversation of
this is what's actually going on. And
this is what's actually going on. And like she actually has the conversation about this is why I think the wards could work. I think it's going to be better for their relationship in the long run because, you know, Xaden is over here operating once again only under the context of what you have openly said to me because he is not a mind reader. Yes, he is an intrinsic and can read your intentions.
I know when you said that, I was like, I can't go actually, but he isn't a mind reader. Like
yes,
he's not
exactly.
able to see your thoughts. Like he can hear you, see your or feel your intentions.
Yeah.
But he
can't see your thoughts. He can't actually read your fucking mind.
Yeah.
And that is like where like the core of the issue is that neither of them can. And neither of them are openly participating in communication. And I do think that when they do have the conversation of wards comparatively to weapons, it's going to be a lot different.
Yeah.
And I just feel that, you know, I think that both have a place, especially within this war. I think that both are going to do good things for it. But, and I think that you guys should definitely have both. I think that both are necessary.
Oh, you need both, yes.
And the fact
like,
that
if you have wards, don't get rid of weapons. Like, you need both, because if, you know, the wards fail, okay, absolutely, you need the weapons as a backup. Or if you're going out to, you know, fight along the border, you need weapons.
Absolutely. But I also think that the way that they had the conversation in this book was so black and white. Like, they don't think that they need both.
Yeah.
And also, like, when you talk to Brennan later, it really doesn't seem like he's like, oh yeah, like that would be a great idea, but it's just not obtainable. So we're going to do the most logical thing, and this is the most physically obtainable thing that we could get.
Yeah. And it makes sense, and it's so interesting, and Violet does say, like, you think, like, there has to be a copy of how to do it, because what if the wards fail? They're going to want to put it back up. Like, there's going to be a copy of it somewhere. We just have to find it.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have erased that. Yes, we would have hidden it so deeply, but we would not have erased it. There's no possible way because of how insecure the wards are.
Yep.
There's no way they could have erased that history because of the fear that the venin has given them. Yeah. You know, the constant risk of that. And then, you know, the fear that the venin has given them. And then for Nolan to come over here and is just like openly trying to
save Jack.
Yeah. Mend his soul.
He says it right there. It's
right
like,
there.
Mending a soul is exhausting. And it's Violet's like, oh, like maybe he's joking. And, you know, you did do a really good job, Kaylee, of going like, oh, like mending a soul, like, you know, like he's really passionate about his work, and he's passionate, which he is. Like, don't get me wrong, he is very passionate about his work. And
but that's how Violet takes it too.
Yeah.
Violet openly takes it as, oh, you know, menders are healers.
Like, they're so passionate.
And
he's
passionate about his work. And I'm like,
and as we remember, Carolyn Ashlyn, what?
Ash River,
thank you, was one of Jack's friends.
And the fact that we know that Caroline knew that he was alive. Caroline knows it. Because Caroline is helping them in some weird fucking way. Yeah,
like how, I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
But she's helping them somehow. And, I mean, it was just such a big foreshadow for Jack coming back. And
absolutely.
And I never would have, first read, never would have guessed. I remember Jack walking through the door and going, what? Why? Why are you here?
I remember it happening, and I was like, I was not prepared for zombie Jack Barlow.
You called me and you're like, Ashley, there's a zombie Jack Barlow. And I was like, I know. I don't know where that came from either.
I was like, to be quite honest, I was like, damn, I know that this is a fantasy world, but zombies? was not on the bingo card for this book.
No, it really wasn't.
I didn't think that zombies were going to be part of the book, but here
I guess
we are.
we're here. Yeah, exactly. And then, we do find out that he is a venom, and it makes sense. And it's like, okay, you're not a zombie, but you are, but it's not a zombie.
Yeah.
It's like that weird gray area.
Yeah,
and
that weird gray area.
It was wild. And it's so foreshadowed with him, so foreshadowed of being a venom multiple times.
Yes.
And then this, where it's, I'm mending a soul, and his friend, like good friend, goes with them. Like it was right there. It's laid. Her foreshadowing is literally just laid out on the table. Like, look, it's there.
And I'm like,
what do you mean? I didn't see that the first time. And that's why it is like, as much as rereads do get tiring, don't get me wrong, this is a fun series to reread.
Absolutely. And I also think like that's why, even Violet felt weird when Xaden like stepped up almost like in between her and Nolan. Like she felt weird, and when Nolan was like, "Oh, I'd never hurt Violet."
Yeah.
I think Xaden knew just from like the intention, like, he might not outwardly try to hurt her, but
you're bringing back like a mortal enemy.
Exactly. Like there's a side that I don't trust. There's something about this situation, about your intentions, that I think is off, that is wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that obviously every right to do that, but I think that it's crazy that they really think that it's going to happen. But I mean, hey, you never know. Maybe in the next book, Brennan and Nolan get together and they, save everybody that's a venom.
I don't think that'll happen until the 5th book.
I love that you even think that's gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
No, not that. But I don't think there's gonna be a cure until like the 5th book.
Oh yeah,
that's what I meant. Yeah,
even if there is personally, I don't think that there's ever gonna be a cure. I think that this is what it is, and this is, like you said,
I think that'd be so good. Like they're searching, and then it's just there's nothing. There's nothing we can do. I have to kill him.
Yeah, because that Violet's gonna hang on until the last fucking minute, until like it really just forces her hand, and
which it makes sense. Like
it does.
It makes sense in why she's holding on. And it's like, if that was you and I, I'd be like, no, like Kaylee, like we could find something. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I know. I feel like I would also have Xaden's mentality. Could we just not? Like, could you just fucking kill me now? Like, I think
I'm exhausted.
I don't want to do it. Could we just do it? Like, could you just kill me now, please? Yeah. Like, I don't.
Please.
Like, just. It's just not fucking worth it. Like, you'll find somebody else. Like, you'll be fine. I promise. You have other people. Just fucking do it. Like,
but I do think lovers to enemies
would.
It'd be so good.
Because I also think that like this book sets up the lovers to enemies so well, though.
It does,
especially like within like these like first dynamics. As like we're talking about how, oh man, they're not building their relationship enough through communication. Like. And, eventually they don't even eventually they don't even fucking communicate. She just fucking caves.
Yeah.
And I think that's another reason why Kaylee wants to rip her face off.
And it's also
because she does.
And
he doesn't give her what she actually asked for.
Yeah. Yeah. And it does kind of tie into how Taryn was like, oh, humans have the memory of a gnat. Like, you're going to be fine. Dragons hold grudges. And I do think that also kind of foreshadowed, like, hey, you're going to forget about this. Like, you'll be fine.
I also think that line might be foreshadowing something else as well. I think we're not going to see it until like later on in the series, but I want to know who Sigale is holding that grudge against. I want to know.
Because I do. And there's one against Brennan.
Oh, for sure.
Like, oh my God.
But I also think that's for Taryn, which is slightly different.
Like, I think maybe
I think she has that because of Taryn.
Just because Brendan and Naolan were together.
Yes, they were.
And so what?
It
And
was
then Naolan,
heavily implied.
yeah, and like Naolan died
Mhm.
because Taryn was his dragon,
Yeah.
and
For
if
Brennan,
Brendan did something,
yeah, but also Brennan openly said that she's never liked me
yeah,
ever. Even when Naolan was alive, that she like never really like enjoyed me. So I think, that comes down to the idea of I I think there's something else. I think,
there has to be.
but also like not only that is why would she be so like they call her ruthless.
Mm-hmm.
They call her they openly say that she doesn't listen to anybody. She doesn't listen to Dragon Law. She is like like that rebel, that
Yep.
person who just steps outside the lines all of the time. And for me, that gives my head alarm bells saying there has to be something deeper.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be. Like, why
And
is
we
she
know that she keeps secrets from
Mhm.
Taryn.
Ugh. I know.
Lovers and enemies for Taryn and Sigale.
I mean,
It'd be so good, but so heartbreaking.
I was like, I'd hate it, but also love it all at the same
Oh my
time
god, I really would.
But I also feel like that's also the other setup that is happening. It's happening so clearly because
Yep.
We see that Taryn was betrayed by her keeping the fact that Xaden does have a second signet. He does
Mm-hmm.
feel so betrayed that like she in theory wanted to stay with him even after being a Venom.
Yep.
Like I
Because
know
both
that
Xaden, Sigale,
Mhm.
and the eggs are gone.
Yep.
And so
And
and Taryn is sleeping. I really, really think Andarna, because she has the ability to
break bonds or
break,
manipulate magic,
magic,
bend.
bend bonds. Thank you.
Mhm.
I think she broke their mating bond, and that's why Taryn is sleeping.
I also think that Sigale probably asked her.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I agree.
I personally don't think that Andarna would ever do it unless either Sigale or Taryn asked.
Yes, I do think that Sigale asked her to do it so she can go with Xaden.
For sure.
Because
And
Xaden came first to her.
yeah.
And what if she's
And
I
she's
wouldn't say
kind of openly
working with
said
the Venom. I wouldn't say like working with the Venom, but she's
tiptoeing the line.
Tiptoeing the
I
line.
mean, we saw how Bade was.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bade does go back to Jack. Bade is elated that Jack is here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like and then, Jack openly said that Bade was easy to manipulate. Personally, yep. I don't think that Sigale is an easy manipulated dragon. So I don't think that she's going with him because she's manipulated by him. I think she's going because she has unfinished business. And I think that the only reason, I think the only reason why she could be doing this is to kill a very specific Venom that she knows is there, that she wants dead.
Yep.
Because dragons hold grudges.
Oh, what a great way to...
I can't wait.
Oh, it'll be so good. And I think we need to end the podcast there. That is a great way
I was like, and that's what we're going to end with, honestly.
Sorry, that was so perfect.
That was it.
That was it. Dragons hold grudges. Stop it there.
Dragons hold grudges, and I do feel like that's going to become a very big thing because, yes, as the book is so focused on humans, dragons is what the series is about. It's what it's named after. The
Empyrean series.
It is. It's named for the dragons. So why would the dragons not actually be the main characters?
Yeah, exactly. So we shall see.
And with that, thank you guys for watching, listening. Make sure you like, subscribe, download, hit all of the buttons. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate all of the support.
And the last question that we have to say to you is, what did the void say to you?